A local college doing its part to address the shortage of nurses in the country. The new Christian Council president outlining his agenda, and a new date set for Junior Junkanoo.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Bahamas is said to be among other Caribbean countries experiencing a shortage of nurses. As this presents a challenge for the Public Hospitals Authority, a local tertiary institution is working diligently to fill the void through its training program. Sabrina Brown reports.
Many Bahamian nurses are reportedly being offered better opportunities outside of the country, and President of Tarif College, Terrence Archer, says this highlights the important role nurses play in the Bahamas.
Our nurses on an international scale are highly sought after because of their exposure, their experiences. Most places, nurses only specialize in a particular area. Here in this country, our nurses specialize in just about every area. They might work in a specialty area, but their background is so vast. Their training is so, I guess I would say, to use the word guardedly complete, in a sense, that they are attractive to U.S. Healthcare agencies.
But he says this deficiency in the healthcare system presents a big opportunity for young people looking to enter a noble profession.
It creates a large opening for young ones who want to come into the profession, to get certified, to come in and go through the program. Currently it's a 3-year program, eventually be a 4-year or 4-year plus program. But the Nursing Council, I feel, does an excellent job in ensuring that institutions like Tarif that offer nursing RN program is doing it at a high level. The Public Health Professional Council, I have to applaud them as well, because it wasn't easy going through them as well. We had to put things in order.
Archer says Tarif is now placing greater emphasis on its RN nursing program. The first group of trainees are now into their final year at the local college.
I'm particularly excited about that program because now our students are going into the RN, and the challenges that we had to bring this program to life, to see that we finally give birth to it, that persons are respecting it and supporting it. It tells me that that program has much potential for others who want to come into the RN nursing program.
Tarif's pharmacy program is also helping to certify Bahamians in a vital area.
We've had about 9 persons who got their pharmacy certification through AMT. Along with our MLT programs, we had persons who did the phlebotomy aspect, and there was 9 of them who got certified with their licenses.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council now has a new leader at the helm after securing more than 50% of the votes during the recent council elections on January 16th. The new president will serve for the next 2 years and says he is looking forward to bringing new initiatives for the betterment of the entire island. He has been in ministry for some 33 years and the pastor at Calvary Temple Assemblies of God for 15 years. And now Reverend Dr. Robert Lockhart is the newly elected president of the Grand Bahama Christian Council. Lockhart says he sees this new role as an appointment from God, and he is grateful that fellow Christian leaders have put their confidence in him. As the new president, he says he wants to introduce a number of initiatives, including a youth arm of the council, considering that half of the country's population is under the age of 35.
One of the first things that I want to add to the Christian Council is a youth arm. Over 50% of our population between 35 and under. And so I think any organization, you have to have young people involved so that you can keep contact with the young people, exactly what's going on, because they're the future. And so we need to impact them, and we need to interact with them and communicate with them. So that's the first thing I'd like to do. The other thing is for the Christian Council to constantly engage to a greater level than we may have done in the past. What's happening in the community some of the issues in the community.
Lockhart says he believes our greatest challenge as a nation is a twofold problem. While crime does stand out at the top of the list, he says this is a result of another issue within our nation.
I would say the greatest challenge is probably our family life, where fathers and mothers adequately invest in their children, not just monies, but time, training. You know, the Bible tells us, train up a child. Children need to be trained. They need to be guided. They need counsel. They need love. They need attention. And so we must answer the question, how do so many of our young people end up involved in crime, end up conducting themselves in ways that is not advantageous for them nor for the community? And so I think our greatest symptom is crime, but I think our greatest problem is a shortfall in family life.
The new president says he also wants to partner with the University of the Bahamas in order to conduct surveys and determine how the community receives the Christian Council and the church.
I think if we can partner with them to get a proper assessment of where the church is at in the Bahamas, what people we're winning, what people we're losing, what causes people to be attracted to the church and what causes them not to be attracted to the church. And then I think if we're able to get that information and that data factual, not just what we feel, but factual data, then I think we can begin to solve the problem and be able to reach out to persons who, for whatever reason, may have lost confidence in the church, may have lost faith, and decided that it's not needed. But I believe that the message, the gospel that the church preaches is the most important message that anyone needs to hear.
Lockhart is also very strong on the belief that the church should not exist solely in the four walls of the sanctuary. And he says he wants to encourage all Christian leaders to take on more community initiatives. A group of visitors are nursing wounds tonight after sustaining injuries in a traffic mishap yesterday. The accident occurred around 3 p.m. yesterday off the East Grand Bahama Highway. Police tell us that a yellow Mercedes-Benz Unimog overturned with the 10 passengers on board. All of the occupants received injuries and were taken to the Rand Memorial Hospital by ambulance. In light of this incident, police are appealing to the general public to buckle up, drive within the speed limit, and with care and attention. 3 males arrested after they were reportedly found in possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition. Police say around 5 p.m. yesterday, officers of the Rapid Response Unit took the 3 men into custody near a business establishment in the area of East Sunrise Highway. Reports say they were found in possession of a black 9mm pistol with 2 rounds of ammunition. More testimony today in the Barry and Ashina Johnson murder trial. The issue of relevance raised once again as a police witness was questioned on the stand. Italia Hall explains.
Sergeant 772 Lorenzo Johnson was back on the stand this morning being cross-examined by attorney Jeffrey Farquharson. Attorney Farquharson, who's representing defendant Paul Belizaire, asked Sergeant Johnson if he retrieved surveillance video from the home of Mr. Parker, but Johnson said yes. Farquharson then asked if that video was important to the investigation, to which Johnson replied yes. Farquharson asked Sergeant Johnson if Barry Johnson appeared in that surveillance video. Officer Johnson countered by saying he did not recall. Farquharson then asked Sergeant Johnson if he came across Mr. Parker while working over the years, because he claims that Mr. Parker was in custody before for murder, but Sergeant Johnson said he was not aware of that. Prosecutor Erica Kemp then raised the issue of relevance, noting that Mr. Parker is not before the court. Justice Estelle Gray Evans agreed and told Attorney Farquharson that his questions are speculative. Attorney Farquharson then told the court that he was getting frustrated because he's being prevented from asking certain questions, which is hampering the proper conduct of his defendant, Paul Belizaire. The jury was dismissed because Attorney Farquharson had some legal matters to discuss. About an hour later, the jury returned to the courtroom, but the session ended a short time later. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues in just a moment.